Hi there, I'm Michael with etrailer.com. Today we're going to take a quick look at this CURT MV weight distribution system. We're going to go over some of the features and kind of compare it to some of the weight distribution systems that we have available here at etrailer.com. So from the start, I will let you know this is a very basic system. There are other systems out there that have a lot more advanced features, but this is going to do a decent job, help to get the job done for you. So if you're not familiar with what a weight distribution system is or does, basically speaking, this is going to install into your hitch on your tow vehicle. It's going to connect to your trailer frame. We've got these spring bars here that are going to flex and provide leverage to lift your trailer frame back up. So rather than having all of the tongue weight from your trailer pushing down on that one connection point between your coupler and your hitch ball, which can oftentimes cause your tongue to be down, can cause your tow vehicle to kind of squat at the rear end, which puts a lot of strain on your rear suspension system, can bring your front end up, causing your steering to be sort of light, all sorts of issues associated with that. So by having this system installed, it's going to help lift that up and level everything out, so all the weight of your trailer is being evenly distributed across all the axles of your tow vehicle and your trailer. So it's going to give you more stability and control. Most all weight distribution systems work on the same basic principle. They're going to have these spring bars that are flexed to provide that tension that you need for your leverage. There are slightly different methods of attaching your spring bars to your frame. There's slight differences throughout the different systems, but in my mind there are three different categories you need to be mindful of when picking out a system to make sure it's going to work for your setup. So the first is obviously going to be your weight capacity. You want to make sure that you have a system that is designed for your trailer's weight. Bigger is not necessarily better with weight distribution. You want to make sure that it is geared towards your trailer's weight. So then the next thing is going to be your trailer height accommodation. So your coupler height, you want to make sure that your trailer is nice and level as you're going down the road. So a lot of systems have these adjustable height shanks, so you can get the head unit mounted up or down based on how the height of your trailer to make sure everything is going to ride level. So you want to make sure you're getting a system that will accommodate your trailer's height, work with your setup. And then the third thing is going to be how they achieve sway control. So most systems out there these days do have some sort of sway control that's going to help keep your trailer in line behind your vehicle. So if a big gust of wind were to come, or if you were to go around a curve or something like that, it's going to help keep your trailer from swaying too much. This system really doesn't have any sort of sway control. That's more of an advanced feature. This is really one of the most basic weight distribution systems I've ever seen. So it's going to do a good job for you as far as that weight distribution goes, but it's going to miss some of those more advanced features like having sway control. You can add on sway control through a different method. We'll go over that here in a few moments. But we're going to start with what this does have. So you want to make sure, again, your weight capacity is going to fit with this. So this does have a tongue weight, which is your trailer's tongue weight plus anything behind the rear axle of your tow vehicle. Add those two numbers together. You want to make sure that it's within that tongue weight range of between 1,000 pounds and 1,400 pounds. So if you have anything less than 1,000 pounds, this system is going to be really rigid. It won't work efficiently for you. And then if you have anything more than that 1,400 pounds, it's not going to be sufficient to help with distributing that weight. Our gross towing weight, or the weight of the trailer plus the load included, is going to be 14,000 pounds. So again, make sure that the system is going to work for you. We do have other systems available that have different tongue weights and that sort of thing. So this will slide right into your 2-inch by 2-inch trailer hitch receiver on your tow vehicle. You do want to make sure that your hitch is rated for use with weight distribution. Not all of them are, and obviously your whole setup is only as strong as that weakest component, so you want to make sure you're not overtaxing your hitch. You can see we do have the included pin and clip here to hold this onto your hitch. We also sell locking pins if you want to upgrade to that to give you a little bit extra security, make sure it's more difficult for anyone to take off with your system. And then we've got our shank here, as I mentioned, gives you the adjustability to make sure that your trailer is going to be level. So we measure our rise and drop from the top inside edge of your receiver tube to the ball platform, which is about where your coupler is going to be. So you can see I've got this in the drop orientation right now, and the head unit is at the lowest attachment point. So we're not going to have a huge drop with this. It's only going to give us about 2.5 inches. So if your coupler sits about 2.5 inches lower than the top of your hitch tube, this will work for you. But we can also flip this over, use it in the rise position, and that's going to give us a max rise of 6 inches when we have our head unit at the highest point. And then these adjustment holes are spaced 1.25 inches apart, center on center, so you'll have lots of incremental changes between those two extremes. Our head unit does not include a hitch ball. You will have to provide that yourself. We sell those separately here at etrailer.com, so that's one of the ways that this is really basic. A lot of systems already come with that hitch ball installed and torqued down to the specifications that you need, so this system is not going to include that. I guess that gives you the option to pick a hitch ball that fits your price range, but will not be included with this. With your weight distribution systems, almost all of them do require a little bit of a tilt in the head unit to achieve that equilibrium. So this system is going to use a traditional washer, stacked washer method to achieve that tilt. So first time you're getting this set up, you'll stack the washers on there. There's a hole on the backside of your head unit that will slide into. And then depending on the amount of washers that you have will determine how far forward your tilt will be. So it can be kind of a hassle because you have to take off the shank to get access to that. So if you need to add more washers, you got to take it off, add the washers. If you need to remove washers, same thing, take it all apart. So probably not a big deal if you're only going to be using, setting this up one time. If you're going to just be using this for one application for years and years, probably won't have to worry about that too much. If you are going to be using this setup for multiple different trailers or different tow vehicles, you might have to change that out pretty frequently, and it could be kind of a hassle. So one of the systems that I really like is the Blue Ox Sway Pro. It's got the tilt already built into the head unit, so you don't have to worry about stacking washers and that sort of thing. So just a personal preference. Of course, with your more advanced features, you are going to get a higher price point, so make sure you're getting the right setup for you. I did forget to mention that with your hitch ball, this is a 1.25 inch diameter opening here, so it will work with your hitch balls that have an 1.25 inch diameter shank. They also include a reducer sleeve, so it will work with your hitch balls that have a 1 inch diameter shank. So you have a couple options there on what will fit in there. Our spring bars are connected to our head unit, and they just kind of slide right in and click into place. You've got kind of a spring-loaded pin there that holds them tight. We also have our grease zerk here, so it's going to be very easy to hook up your grease gun, pump some grease in, keep everything well lubricated and running smoothly. Then our spring bars are going to be held up onto our trailer frame with these chains and these frame-mounted brackets. So these are going to be very easy to get installed. You're not going to have to worry about drilling into your trailer's frame. Just basically set them down on the frame and then tighten this bolt on the back side so it's nice and snug. And then these operate on a very simple principle. Just pull them forward, figure out which link you need for the proper amount of tension on your system, and then you can use the included snap-up bar here to lift that up into place, and that's going to provide that tension on your spring bar to help with the leverage. You can fine-tune that tension by switching which link that you have, that sort of thing, but once you get it all figured out, it'll be pretty easy to remember which link you need. And then once you have that snapped up into place, they do include the pins to hold that, make sure it doesn't come loose while you're traveling. So, like I said, with this system, using the chains, those are pretty free moving, so it's not going to be a very rigid system, so you're not going to have the sway control that other systems utilize. So if you wanted to, you could add on a separate sway control device like the CURT friction sway control that you see on the screen there. So that will mount onto your trailer separately to help provide that sway control for you. The downside to that system is that it's not compatible with your surge brakes. It won't allow your actuator to telescope in and out. So if you have a trailer with surge brakes, you probably want to go with a different model. But overall, I think this is going to be a good starting point for you. If you've never used weight distribution before, I think this will do a good job. Uses that same basic mentality to help lift up and level out your trailer. It just doesn't have all the advanced features that are kind of nice to have for convenience and different things. So just a matter of personal preference. If price is your main concern, I think this is going to be a great option for you. Again, make sure that that weight capacity and your trailer height accommodation are going to work for you, and I think you'll be very happy. That completes our look for today. Again, I'm Michael with etrailer.com. Thanks for watching.